My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Thunderbolts Asterix. And look, I used to love the MCU. Like, they made some truly great movies, and every release felt like an event. But in the past few years, this franchise has just destroyed itself. Like, they started to release so many movies and TV shows to the point where most people aren't keeping up with this franchise. And on top of that, most things they have made as of late have been shit. So, the reviews came out for Thunderbolts, and everybody said it's a grand return for the MCU. And I'll say this, it's not great, it's not one of the best MCU movies, but it is one of the best MCU movies as of late. So let's begin by talking about the cast, and Florence Pugh carries this movie incredibly well. I thought she brought lots of emotional depth to her character, and she impressed me here. Then we've got Sebastian Stan, who I think gives one of his better performances here. I just thought he brought plenty of personality to Bucky here, and he does a really good job. Then we've got Wyatt Russell, who I also thought did a good job. He brought plenty of personality to his character. Hannah John-Kamen is still rather weak here. She's the one character who just doesn't really stand out. She still felt bland and generic, and they don't use her abilities nearly enough. We then got Louis Pullman, who reminded me of Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this movie, but I thought he did a really good job. I have some issues with the way this character is written, but his performance is great. Then we've got David Harbour, and he steals the show here. He is so funny and entertaining, and he just elevated this movie every time he was on screen. We then got Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who's a bit of a generic villain, but she still does a perfectly fine job. Geraldine Veswathan, who I thought was brilliant in Blockers, was just wasted in this movie. Her character felt so unnecessary, and I wish she had more to do. And then we've got Olga Kurylenko as Taskmaster, and she is in this movie a lot. She had so much to do. She really impressed me. But then let's talk about the direction by Jake Sherrill, and I actually thought he did a pretty good job. The movie looks good. The action is good. There's actually one really great action scene near the end that really impressed me. But my favorite part of his direction was when these people just turn to shadows. And I like stuff like that. I thought the visuals of those moments really stood out. And by the way, speaking of which, the Marvel intro of this movie was so freaking great. Like, I got chills and I got really excited for this movie. But that said, I feel like Jake kinda did the big climax of this movie a disservice. I like the ideas he's going for. I just thought visually it needed to be more creative. It needed to stand out more, and the scene just looked safe to me. The movie's also got some pretty solid humor. I laughed quite a few times actually, and I do like how this movie explores depression and fulfillment and loneliness. And mental health is a subject I'm very passionate about because I feel like too many people nowadays look for the wrong answers. And I feel like mental illness is being talked about it's being talked about as something that it's not. And I like how this movie actually explores the root of it and how if you do bad things, those things are going to stay with you. If you feel alone, that is going to affect you. So I like the way the movie handled its subject matter, but that said, it's a bit too heavy-handed at times. I feel like the writing could have been better there, and I also feel like the character of Bob could have been better written. Like, I saw the trailers, so I knew the shadow part of this movie was coming up, and I'm like, holy shit, it's taken forever to get to the void. And when the void actually ends up happening, I was just like, oh, I don't know, that felt really rushed. Like, I just feel like the movie could have felt more cohesive and it could have been written better. Also, there's a moment where the characters are looking for someone and they find them very soon, and I did not buy that. I also just feel like this movie is a little uneven and it's a little messy. I do like so many individual elements, and I like how contained the first act of this movie is. I like the ideas it's going for. There's decent visuals, action, comedy, but as a whole, it just feels like it could have been written better and directed better. So, yeah. Also, everybody was talking about how amazing the post-credit scene of this movie is, and I'm here to tell you that they lied. The mid-credit scene is really funny, but don't expect anything crazy. But I still like this movie. I really do. I thought the cast did a good job. I think there's great ideas on display, and there is some solid emotion. I like the ideas it's trying to explore. I do wish it came together better, but I would still give Thunderbolts asterisks 6.5 out of 10. Okay, the best MCU movies post Endgame are Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man No Way Home, Thunderbolts, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Those are the 4. And also Thor, Love, and Thunder. I know it's a hot take, but I like some parts of it. But anyways, Thunderbolts, asterisks. Have you seen it? Asterisks. Let me know what you thought. Asterisks. In the comments down below. Asterisks. Make sure you like. Asterisks. Comment. Asterisks. Subscribe. Asterisks. Stay tuned for more videos soon. Asterisks. And Gavin out. Asterisks.